You've been mocked in the press. Press has been pretty hard on you. The Democrats have been pretty hard on you, but also some conservatives have been pretty hard on you as well. The National Review had a story saying that, you know, I can't tell if Sarah Palin is incompetent, stupid, unqualified, corrupt, or all of the above.
Who wrote that one?
That was in the National Review. I don't have the author.
I'd like to talk to that person.
He doesn't have to talk to that person. Isn't that incredible? Now, Griffin, the guy, totally distorted what York wrote in the article. And then he ambushes Palin with the distortion. She has no idea what he's talking about. Now, I haven't been critical of CNN during the campaign. They've been pretty honest in their coverage, I believe, but that was off the chart dishonest. So we called CNN for comment very early in the morning. We said, look, you know, are you going to apologize? What are you going to do? They wouldn't comment. Apparently, there's no apology in the works, no retraction. It's unbelievable. It's hard to believe. In fact, the whole campaign has been hard to believe. Talking Points is amazed at how dishonest the American press reportage has been. Yeah, there's been nasty stuff from both sides, no doubt. But with the mainstream media solidly behind Barack Obama, I think that's worth about 5 percentage points for him in the popular vote. I could be wrong, but CNN was definitely wrong in what they did to Sarah Palin. It's outrageous. That's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, let's bring in Byron York, the guy who's caused all the trouble. He joins us now from Washington.
Hi, Bill.
I said after the third debate that I felt like I was in a twilight zone and Rod Serling was standing in a corner. And now, CNN, you know, they've been okay. NBC News, ridiculous. But I saw that, and then we said to CNN, look, you know, guy maybe made a mistake, whatever. What are you going to do? And they basically said, I'm not going to do anything. What do you think?
Well, you know, I was pretty surprised about it. I had heard about it, and my first thought was, who at National Review wrote something like that? My editor said, I think he's talking about you. Listen, I don't think that there's any apology due to me or anything, but it was, as you said, it was Governor Palin who was sandbagged by this whole thing, and when she said, you know, who wrote that? Well, the answer is nobody wrote that. So I think that it probably would be a good idea for CNN to make some sort of retraction or correction.
But here's the danger.
As far as the question to Governor Palin.
Here's the danger, Byron, and you know this as well as anybody. Most of the people watching that interview, and it goes all over the world, they didn't read your article. They don't know what you said. And then the guy frames it with, look, conservatives think you're a moron too, Governor. It's not just we liberals. It's conservatives think you're a moron too. Not only is that a lie, what he said, but then it puts her in an untenable position. What can she do? She doesn't know what was said, doesn't know what you wrote, doesn't know anything about it. So you know, with 2 weeks to go before a presidential election, and you have this kind of, I don't know what to call it, from CNN going out to millions of people, and you're saying to yourself, there's something seriously wrong in the United States of America.
No, she had to be very, very surprised at it, and this is part of a bigger issue. You know, there was a story, a study that came out today by the Pew Center for Excellence in Journalism that said that as far as Barack Obama is concerned, positive stories have outnumbered negative stories. Not a huge surprise there. As far as John McCain is concerned, negative stories have outnumbered positive stories 3 to 1. This has been a pretty amazing season for press coverage, and you know, perhaps this CNN thing was a mistake, but it fits in a much larger pattern.
Yeah, it could have been that this reporter
coverage
just didn't read the article properly, or he was briefed improperly. We're not going to say that this guy, Griffin, is an evil guy or whatever, but CNN owes it to its audience and owes it to Governor Palin to correct the record. And we gave them all day to do so, and they won't. That is the crux of the matter, that you have now NBC, CNN, New York Times, and on and on and on. They basically don't care, Byron. Fairness, gone. Accuracy, gone. Honesty, gone. So now what people have to think about is, what kind of a democracy, what kind of a republic is this country going to be with a corrupt press? We know Wall Street's corrupt. We know that Congress can't regulate Wall Street, and look where that's gotten us, okay, into economic chaos. Now we know that, beyond a reasonable doubt, the American press is corrupt. I fear for the country, Byron. I really do. We were set up to watch the powerful, and now nobody's watching us. There are no restraints on the press, and we're corrupt. We are absolutely corrupt.
Let me give you an example of one sort of attitude here. You know, over the weekend, the New York Times published on the front page a story about Cindy McCain that was really kind of mean-spirited, not very newsworthy.
Nasty.
Just didn't have much to it. Go back to early October. Bill Keller, the executive editor of the New York Times, was in a panel discussion in New York, and he was asked what his reaction was when the McCain campaign complained about coverage from the New York Times. And this is what he said. He said, "My first tendency when they do that is to find the toughest McCain story we've got and put it on the front page just to show them that they can't get away with it." There's certainly an adversarial relationship, it seems here, that probably doesn't help the coverage any.
Well, I think ideology has now overridden any kind of journalistic ethics at all. And I think that's the bottom line here. Byron, thanks very much.